Hi folks, it's Ann. I just made a whole long video for you guys. It's about 16 minutes long. And I was telling you the facts of life. I was talking about a pound. And I got the whole number wrong. After I finished on the video, thought to myself, no, I'm wrong about a pound being 2,500 calories. And I looked it up, and sure enough, it's 3,500. So I was going to retake this whole video. And I thought the first one came out so great that I didn't want to redo it. So I want you to know, now I told you folks, I'm not an expert. I didn't even get the number right. I knew it though. I don't know why I kept saying 2,500. I pretty much knew it was 3,500, but so this video that you're going to see, all through it, I talk about a pound being 2,500 calories. And so just so you know that it's 3,500, folks. That's what I say. Do your research, because I certainly am not always right. But I hope you get a little help out of this discussion that I have coming up. And so here it is, folks, coming right at you. Hi folks, it's Ann. Welcome to my channel. I'm over at Maro Lake State Park, and the reason I'm over this way is because I had a dentist appointment in Saratoga this morning, and I thought it would be nice to come up to this park and make a video for my other channel. If you care to watch it, it's called Adirondack Ann, and it's just a nice little short video of the beach here and what Maro Lake has to offer. This is a campground actually, and I drove around the sites, and it's beautiful, just a beautiful place to come. But I'm not doing my walking again today. However, I just did a little longer walk than I thought I was gonna do because of the air. The air is still supposed to be bad, and for seniors they say don't go out and do anything in this weather. So the little walk that I just did is probably all that I could handle. There's a beautiful trail. This trail's all through here, and if I had my sneakers and the air was better, I would be going through these trails and showing you them. But it's beautiful here, folks. So I hope you all enjoyed my video that I made yesterday. Now I want to tell you folks, those stories are inspired by true stories of things that have happened to people, but they're not a specific person. It's really based on a compilation of all different things. Some of them are from things that I've heard or people that I've known, and I tell part of their stories inside that. But for me to actually say that it's a specific person, that I can give you an update on this person, I can't do that, because it's fictional, but it's inspired by true people that have suffered with obesity and all the illnesses that come with it. So I wanted to be upfront with you and let you know that, folks. But I love the stories too. That one, you know me and my crying spells. I was crying. I had to stop, narrating there for a couple of times, because I just, I got so sad thinking about someone like that that's suffering. Because, me, I relate to it and I feel it, I could feel how somebody would be suffering like that. And I want to put more of those types of stories out, because it seems like you're liking it, and if I find that you're not liking it, I won't do it. Now, it won't be often, but like yesterday, I couldn't go walking, and I wanted to get a video out to you, and I thought, well, maybe that'll be something that you'll like. And I hope it would help people too, because it's not like it's a made up thing. These things happen to real people, and they go through this kind of thing. And some of them do get saved. I like to use that word because, you're actually getting saved. No, I know I'm not talking about religion or anything. I'm talking about being saved from hurting yourself on this diet, this low carb diet. And I just wanted to get that out there so that you're all aware of that. And another thing I wanted to talk to you about today, I was thinking while I was driving, was, a lot of people think that a calorie is a calorie. And if you have a certain amount of calories, then that's going to determine whether you either gain weight or you lose weight. And yes, that may be very well true. But the way that I like to look at it, folks, and many others that are on here or that have succeeded in this diet, a calorie is quite different. Now I'm not perfect at explaining things, but to me, the way I look at it, like let's say you have 100 calories of candy bar, and you have 100 calories and you eat it. Now let's say you have 100 calories of a hamburger without the bun, maybe a piece of cheese, but let's just say you have 100 calories of that or 100 calories of your candy bar. What's going to happen is the candy bar is going to spike your sugar, and I don't care if you're not diabetic, if you're still young and you still handle that kind of thing, because I did for the longest time, folks. So what the thing is that the candy bar and the sugar is going to spike your sugar level, and that is going to cause cravings, and it's not going to take long before you want some more. And that's the difference between the 100 calories with the sugar and the 100 calories without the sugar. Because when you don't have the sugar, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that shortly after or even for a long time after. That hamburger, that 100 calories from the hamburger is going to fill you up for quite some time. And when you do get hungry, it's not going to be that you're ravenous for more sugar, more carbs, more bread, more pasta. It doesn't work that way. Once your body gets used to burning the fat, those days are over, folks. Those cravings are over, and that's why you're able to maintain it. Now, yes, we could argue that a calorie is a calorie, and 2,500 calories is going to put a pound on you. That's what they say. But the difference is on what those calories do to your body. And even before I became diabetic, I didn't think like that. I counted the calories just like everybody else. And not always, but, the few times that I was in that kind of a diet. But it means more the type of food that you're eating. And there is no scientific evidence that says that you need to have carbs, the sugar, the processed food. There's nothing that says that helps your body. So if you want to eat some healthy, and I have to say, folks, that it applies to fruit too, because fruit is loaded with sugar. And I know there's healthy things from fruit that, vitamins that you can get from fruit, but all the necessary vitamins that you need comes from your low carb diet, which now we really want to get strict. We're talking about meat. I love the beef. It fills me up and it makes me feel stronger. But bacon, they've said bacon is bad, but we need healthy fats. Butter, that's a healthy fat. You buy the good kind, you're getting a healthy fat. And eggs, I love eggs. I started eating more eggs than ever because everything I learned about eggs. Now, do you remember how they tried to turn us off with eggs? Eggs is a superfood. It has so many vitamins in it. Now, I can't sit here and list them all for you, but if you start doing your research on these things that I'm saying, I guarantee you're going to find bona fide research. Maybe the smoke is bothering me. But, so my point is, folks, start doing some research on all this and don't take my word for it. And God, I never would want to say anything that was going to hurt anybody. So you really need to do your own research on that. And I'm not even good at explaining it all, but I'm trying. And I hope you can get something out of it. It's getting off the sugar, any kind of those carbs, the pasta. I used to think, oh my God, my rice. I used to love my rice and beans. My sister-in-law used to make the most wonderful rice and beans. Arroz con pollo. And the Chinese food with the rice, are you kidding me? The idea of ever giving that up? That's what people think, and that's what I thought. I couldn't even imagine a life of not having those wonderful things that I used to eat. But I'm here to tell you, folks, once you pass that moment where you're fat adapted and not sugar adapted, the cravings disappear 99.9% of the time. Now, on hot days, I'm not going to say in the last few weeks, maybe twice I thought to myself, boy, an ice cream would be good. But it wasn't a craving. It was hot, and I thought that would be nice to cool off with. And that thought lasted me about 30 seconds. So that's how it all happens. And you don't feel like you're deprived. It's the best thing that you can do for yourself, especially if you're starting to get older and you're starting to have these metabolic problems. The first thing you need to do, you have an insulin resistance, and the very first thing that you need to do is correct that, and yeah, the doctor wants you to get on the medicine and everything. And I always said, if you really can't do it, and people out there really can't do it, for whatever reason, there may be some people that can't. And if the medicine is saving their lives, I don't go against that. I don't. Now, I don't want to get on it. I almost got on it, but I don't want to go against that, because if you need it, you need it if it's going to save your life. And a lot of people, they do end up going that way. And if you could catch it, or if you could turn it around, folks, it's happening to me. I'm losing the weight. I'm feeling stronger. I'm getting healthier. I'm pushing 68 years old with all kinds of problems, and my problems are getting so much better. So what this all boils down to, the main point that I want to tell you, folks, is a calorie is not a calorie, not in my eyes. A sugary calorie does so much more harm than a non-carb calorie does. And I believe that 100%, and I am a witness to it because I am doing it. And all the comments that I'm getting from a lot of you folks are saying how wonderful you're doing, and I'm so grateful that you send that in, because I want everybody to read those comments. It's verifying. It's not just me that's making the difference. All these people that are putting comments onto this channel, here I go, is verifying that it helps. It will work wonders. It's miraculous. That miraculous is the only word that I could say for it, because you're a person that just wants to eat, and you're craving food, and you don't think there's anything you can do to stop having those cravings. But this low-carb diet will help you, and you don't believe it until you try it. Just try it. Start eliminating the carbs slow. Start going for little walks, folks. Start getting that hope. That story yesterday that I put out there, hope is, if you don't have hope, And it applies to a lot of things in life. You got to keep that hope, folks. Don't give up. Don't give up like I was going to do in March when I went to see the doctor and was ready to get on all the medicine. You know, I was at a point, I didn't have much hope. I thought I just had to go along with the system just to stay alive. But you don't have to. Now, you always need to get your doctor to go along and help you. Because like that story showed, that guy, if he didn't get off that, he was having a problem because he brought his sugar and blood pressure down, but he was still taking the high dosages of the medicine, and that's what landed him in the hospital. You have to work with your doctor and slowly, very slowly, eliminate the meds. So that's what I wanted to share today. I was thinking about it in the car drive up to Saratoga because I didn't have anything really ready to talk about, and I thought that's the better than anything, you know, to realize, because they tell us, you know, a pound is a pound, but it's okay. Somebody can argue with me and say, yes, 2,500 calories is going to make a pound. Okay, I'm going to go along with that, folks. It's not like I don't understand that. But you know what? If you're eating 100 calories of non-carbs, you might not even get to the 2,500 mark. And even if you do, your blood sugar is going to be stabilized. And you're not going to keep going and eating and eating and eating like there's no tomorrow. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, folks. I guess I'm going to head home. I've been out here. I actually felt like I was getting a little headache, but it might be from the smoke. But you know, you really can't see it in the air. I mean, you could see in the distance a little cloudy, but you don't realize it. So I'm going to go back home and turn on my air conditioner. Now, I do have a dehumidifier that I might get going today, because I think even sitting in my house, I mean, just because you're in your apartment or your house, or it doesn't mean that air doesn't get inside. So last night I was coughing a little. But this is going to pass. It's a shame that it's in the middle of the summer, you know, and people want to get out and do things, but we have to deal with it. What are you going to do? We have to deal with it, and we have to do what's best for our health, especially people that have some kind of a health problem or seniors. We have to be smart. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to head on home. And I shall see you all in the next one. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. And I will talk to you later. Bye, folks.